Hey guys, what do you want to do tonight?
Let's watch a Mads Mikkelsen movie. We should watch Druk. Skål!
We're the Youngs.
We've spent our lives traveling the world.
And in 2018, we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
Is keeping us young.
keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young. Okay, real fast in front of my beer glass cabinet, I have to say that we review this movie. While there's no crazy twists or turns that we're revealing, because there just aren't any, but there is a plot, and we discuss the plot. So, you've been warned. Let's get to the review. Hello, welcome back to Traveling Young, and today we decided, because we're super close to the Academy Awards, where Druk is nominated for a couple Academy Awards, and also just last week we did a drinking video about Maya and her views on drinking as a teen. Seemed appropriate to review the movie. So we literally just finished watching it like minutes ago, set up the camera, all fresh in our minds, and we're gonna let Maya start and talk about what she thinks.
Well, I thought it was really good. I really liked it, but I feel like I have a different kind of perspective from you guys, since I'm kind of like a student in the Danish, you know, school system. So like watching this movie just made me think about school and made me nervous for exams, because most of it was people being nervous for exams and preparing, and like it just made me think about school. And but I mean, watching the end with the hats and everyone celebrating, it made me really excited to start gymnasium and graduate and get to do that myself. But I felt like the subject matter of alcohol was also something really good to talk about, because I think there's a lot of alcohol drinking in Denmark. A lot. That I think should maybe be talked about.
Would it be weird for you if you saw your teachers like
Not really.
just like hammered?
Not really.
You're not in gymnasium yet.
No, I'm not in gymnasium yet. No, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that that's kind of the topic of a movie about Denmark, you know, and that is one thing that the Danes are known for a bit, is the drinking culture. So it's maybe if folks are trying to get rid of that perception, perhaps a whole movie on the subject is maybe not the best choice. But anyway, this is just an observation.
Yeah, it mostly made me think about school and about exams, which are coming soon, and it made me nervous for them. What did you think?
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I have to say, I think as somebody who has really struggled with anxiety my whole life, and just like feelings of inadequacy, I think it's easy to understand how enticing it can be to have something that can take that edge off and make you feel a bit more, just get yourself out of your head, because I think that's so hard. I think when you have anxiety, you constantly overthink things, and so I can see how that could lead somebody to take the path that some of these characters did, where they just kept going and going and going, and so I thought that was it's both sad and interesting at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Having experienced some of those same feelings, like I can, you know, watch this and not relate.
But understand.
Kind of see where they're coming from a little bit.
Yeah, because I think it's almost like when you can get over that hump and you can get out of your head and you can articulate what you're thinking and you can do the things that you know that you're capable of, it's almost like a high. And so you're constantly chasing that. And so I could see how if you associate that high with drinking alcohol, how you could just quickly become an alcoholic. You know, you're constantly chasing that feeling.
Yeah, and if you know, like associate being good at work or being good at what you do with alcohol, drinking.
Yeah.
You can end up like these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that they, you know, basically it started with the idea that they just needed something little, and they thought just a little bit could calm them down and let them like actually be more free and more open and more relaxed, which I mean, part of that is human nature. Part of it is it may be part of Danish culture. I don't know. I mean, it is a movie in Denmark that, you know, that maybe there's some tense part of being in school and going through these things. And
all
going
the
through
school
life.
stuff made me tense.
And that little bit, that 0.5% is what's necessary just to feel a little bit better in order to be calm and relaxed.
Yeah.
Alcohol was the thing that was chosen to do that. But so we're going to stop real fast for Try It On Tuesday, though.
Yeah.
And because this is about alcohol, we're going to make sure this isn't
It's not about alcohol.
Try It On Tuesday. It'll be something different, but let's go do that, and then we'll be back in a minute. All right, welcome back to Try It On Tuesday, and today we're going to eat...
We are gonna have the Danish national dish, which is steked flæsk med persillesauce, which is basically fried pork belly with a very nice parsley sauce. And I made it all myself.
Along with the Påskebrew that we still have left.
With the Påskebrew. We always have Påskebrew. So let's give this a try. This is very homey. I tasted the sauce, and kudos to the chef if I do say so myself. Yeah. I like pork belly. Let's try potato. So the sauce is a lot like when I make the biscuits and gravy sauce. It's kind of like the base, except there's parsley in it.
So, I mean, it's meat
And potatoes.
and potatoes, so it feels like you can't go wrong.
You really can't.
But I like being acclimated to the national Danish dish, so...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can take one for the team often and just start integrating all the time.
All the meat dishes.
All the meat dishes.
Very good. All right, well, I think this is A+.
Yeah.
A+.
Very good. Well done, Denmark. Thank you for another good recipe for my repertoire of fine dining.
All right, well, let's head back to the review. All right, we're back from Try It On Tuesday. That is getting to be fun, by the way. I'm really liking this. And
I love
everybody
Try It On Tuesday.
keep giving us ideas on things to try, and if it has anything to do with fish from Sweden that's been fermented for a long time,
we're not doing
you
that.
can type it all you want, but there's no chance I'm gonna try that.
We know what that is.
Yeah. So my thought on the movie is I really liked it.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really interesting is just the genius of selecting basically these two paths. There were these kids, and the whole movie started with these kids drinking.
Yeah.
As part of this whole drinking, you know, game running around the lake and being on trains. First of all, by the way, let me just say it's so cool to see all these trains and things that I can associate with living in Denmark, you know, and seeing these, you know, I've been on the S trains and I've seen all these things. But anyway, it begins with these kids on trains. And then the other part of the story is these adults that are like at a different part of their life journey. And they were looking for a way to basically restart. So the kids were beginning the next phase of their life, but they were doing so with a ton of alcohol. Basically, the kids were drinking at the beginning of the movie, the kids were drinking at the end of the movie, and the adults came back to alcohol, but then Mads Mikkelsen's character kind of came to this full circle moment with his wife.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like he was moving on to a new phase. So it was kind of an interesting, I think, juxtaposition where you saw the kids going through their new phase, but the adults had gone through a journey themselves, just like the kids in gymnasium, and they were moving on to a new phase themselves. Obviously, one of them wasn't with them anymore, but Mads Mikkelsen's character coming to terms with his wife through text at the very end is kind of him entering into a new phase. So I really thought it was interesting. Alcohol was kind of this unifying element between these generations going through these life changes. But I mean, I thought it was really fascinating and a good choice to have these adults be teachers surrounded by kids going through these anxiety and these issues, trying to get through this part of their life, while the adults themselves were going through a big part of their lives, dealing with adulthood and kids and marriages that were having problems and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought about that because I feel like a lot of the drinking culture in Denmark, when we talk about drinking culture, is usually like highlighted on teenagers and kids, or not kids, but like, you know, the youth. And I thought it was really interesting to kind of turn the perspective to adults. Which I feel like is something that people don't really talk about, I guess.
Yeah. I've seen my fair share of adults like stumbling down the street.
Yeah, but I mean, as a youth in Denmark, I feel most of the time when we talk about like alcohol and alcohol problems, it's always about the teenagers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I guess could start. But, I mean, the characters at the beginning of the movie weren't necessarily coming off as being heavily involved in alcohol. They were looking for that release from their anxiety. And it's interesting because their anxiety and their issues were much like the kids going through in school.
Yeah.
And alcohol seemed to be that release in order to get through, and even one of the teachers suggesting to a kid.
Yeah, I did find that part really interesting because, like, that was towards the end of the movie where they were kind of seeing the effects of all the drinking they'd been doing. And I kind of felt like he kind of moved backwards a little bit by suggesting this kid drinks alcohol.
That irresponsible.
It's like you just learned this,
You
just went through this huge lesson about not drinking, and now you're giving this kid alcohol to do the same mistake you're doing.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, like, what kind of precedent, what does that teach the kid? Like, now does the kid feel like that's what
too.
Got me through,
a tough life thing.
A tough life thing, and now is he just gonna, like I was saying before, I think it's easy to then associate alcohol with helping you through those, like, difficult times and getting past being so stuck in your head.
Well, and I also found it interesting, the choice of Mads Mikkelsen being a history teacher.
Yeah.
And he was specifically highlighting people in history that used alcohol. I mean, he picked Ernest Hemingway and these people specifically that drank as ways of, I mean, there's almost this situation where sometimes when you're confronted with the most difficult things in life that these people were trying to struggle with, being a famous author or being a war general, that's the only way out. It's almost like part of what they were thinking through as they were beginning to introduce alcohol to their idea, almost as a justification for making the decision to make the choice to try to do this experiment.
But I find it interesting that they did choose, like, Ernest Hemingway, who was very famous for his drinking, but he was also famous for basically being, like, a really tortured soul and, like, deeply unhappy. And I mean, he did write all of these amazing books, but he clearly was not a happy person.
Yeah. Well, I do want to address one other thing, which is the special effects when they had the person that actually got ice out of a refrigerator.
That was amazing.
I didn't realize there was going to be so many special effects. I mean, the CGI, because I've never seen a refrigerator in Denmark.
So real.
It really looked like a refrigerator dispensing ice from it. I mean, I was blown away.
This scene, like, flew over other Danish people's heads, but to us Americans who have always had a refrigerator that had ice come out of it, to see one in a Danish film was like, oh!
Yeah,
it's real.
I was recognizing, like, all kinds of things, like the milk that they had at the table and all these things that I can buy when they went in the Irma. But then I saw this completely fake refrigerator that was obviously CGI, and I'm like, this doesn't look Danish to me. I don't understand this. But anyway, it was a really good movie. We're super excited to see the Academy Awards in a couple weeks and see what happens.
I hope it does
Hope it wins.
Yeah, for sure. Very exciting.
It would be a big moment for Denmark.
Yeah, very exciting for Denmark. So fingers crossed we'll watch it the next morning, because it'll be on in the middle of the night, much like you guys. But we wanted to share because during the live stream, people have been asking us if we'd seen it and what we thought. And so we sat down tonight as a family before Maya goes back to after school and watched it. And there you have it. So again, thank you for everything. Oh, real fast. Thank you for all the birthday wishes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was just overwhelming and amazing. All the people that wrote happy birthday to me, I really appreciate it. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Good.
And, there we have it, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll just say goodbye. Maybe I'll have a drink.
School?
Only one, though. I'm not trying to maintain a specific... I don't have a breathalyzer.
The movie.
No, not at all.
No.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, move your arm. It's in a weird spot.
Well, I'm trying to be chillaxed.
Yeah, chillax.